Okay, so I'm a amateur privacy enthusiast, and it's something that I've been interested in for a long time. And one so argument that I hear a lot is, I've got nothing to hide. Why should I care about trackers? It doesn't bother me. Who cares? So who cares what I'm doing if they know what I'm doing on the internet, or looking at my browser history or whatever. And there was an article on Reddit the other day in our privacy subreddit, which was, the title is "Real World Examples That Make You Realize How Dangerous Data Collecting Is." And the poster started off with a few examples, and then there was a whole thread of just a whole bunch of different examples of why this is a bad thing, why it's bad to have a default for track everything. Mike's picked out a few really good examples from here. I had a look through as well, but I couldn't top his selection. So we're going to have a look through them on today's episode of the Not So Critical Update.
Peter, were you talking about me?
Yeah. No.
That's one of the people who says that.
Well, you may have said it once or twice. I don't know.
Maybe.
We may have had an entire episode around the fact that...
Multiple episodes? Yeah. I mean, that's kind of my thing.
You've gone and verified that this is correct with all your close circle of friends.
I know.
Wide-ranging,
I still feel very torn on it, but... I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
So at any rate, I came across this Reddit thread. Thought we were going to have Jon today. We could just have kind of a fun conversation about it. Nothing really newsworthy here, but it's a topic that does come up a lot. It was inspired by a Reddit thread in our privacy about real world examples that make you realize how dangerous data collection is. And I guess I was curious, are these real world examples enough to make me realize...
Oh, for fuck's sake!
How dangerous it is!
Like, what is it going to take?
It has to affect me personally. I think is probably what it comes down to.
Okay, that's
not true.
I think that's true though. No. I think you're actually right. I think that's one of the reasons why tracking is so pervasive, is because these examples that we're going to talk about are so awful, but they didn't actually affect you. So you still don't really care, and that's.
But I have had identity theft. Credit cards compromised. I've been affected by some of these things. I haven't been jailed wrongly because of a facial recognition flaw. And certainly I recognize that those things happen. Do I blame the technology for that though?
No, you can't blame the technology. It's the default to suck up all the data about everything that we possibly can, record it just in case it might be useful, and it isn't actually that effective at selling ads. I mean, there's a certain amount that's effective, but I think in general, the massive amount of data to pay off is not justified.
We've gone back and forth on that. I don't know, but
all right, okay. Well, let's have a look at some of these.
So I just grabbed some of the examples, and some of these we've actually talked about on the show before. For example, this guy in Chicago, Michael Williams, was arrested because he, I guess, just happened to be in the wrong area at the wrong time when ShotSpotter reported gunfire to the police.
Oh, ShotSpotter, one of our favorite topics.
I think this actually might have been one of the first ShotSpotter stories we did, you and I.
It's not on the screen, by the way, if you meant it to be.
Oh.
It's just me.
There we go.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, nice.
Fire the producer.
City of Chicago, claiming its AI wrongly imprisoned him. Oh, yeah. Fraud spotter.
Yeah.
So, guy's in the wrong place at the wrong time, and ShotSpotter thinks he's shot someone, I suppose. They'd spot him, and turns out maybe not.
And I guess this is kind of a combination of data collection and just surveillance in general. I don't remember what was the original data collection. So does this fall in the category strictly of data collection? I don't know. I mean, that's kind of what ShotSpotter is. It's surveilling and reporting gunshots.
Constant surveillance. surveillance capitalism is the term, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where people are making money out of tracking people, so that's why it's been pushed. I think that's probably half the reason that the Chicago, it's Chicago, right?
Yeah, this one was Chicago, yes.
Yeah, the Chicago police. Oh yeah, it's in the headline right there. I think that's one of the reasons why they're pushing the shot spotter so much, is because there's a big a lot of money behind it, basically. So
yeah, we're actually going to watch a fun video. It's going to be a riveting video of an Amazon executive testifying in front of the UK Parliament, and we won't have to watch the whole thing, even though everybody will want to. But addressing a lot of these surveillance and data collection issues.
Yeah. We're going one step beyond Googling it live. We're going to be watching YouTube videos together.
Yep. We're just going to watch C-SPAN for an hour. Empty podiums. Similar story, guy arrested in New Jersey. Another black guy, incidentally, because of a facial recognition match. Sure. So here, the data collection has to do with the collection of biometric data and then an invalid AI match.
Yeah. I mean, we're kind of more going about this, so far it's like AIs suck, which, is true.
Yeah. So one more AI suck, and then we'll get to actual data collection. Do you have something to add on this?
No, just that it sucks, and really black people are getting
that's well documented. That AI is notoriously bad at handling non-white faces. So here, Google flagged a father for having naked medical photos of his toddler while doing telemedicine with the pediatrician. So that's kind of disastrous. There again, maybe more AI than data collection and storage, but
there's a lot of things here. I think the it's only just one individual here, but the consequences of the mistake were pretty bad, because Google tied into his whole life and everything got cut off and didn't get restored for a very long time, and he was put on a register and all sorts of terrible things, and it was just his kid, which is, I mean, I don't know. Would have hoped they thought of that first, but hey.
Yeah. So here's a classic, Cambridge Analytica.
Yeah. These are a bunch of scumbags.
You were
so if anybody isn't familiar with this,
go ahead.
This is a company that was in the UK in particular known for sort of political insights based on a ton of social media data that it sucked up and analyzed, and all sorts of other databases, and it tried to put them together and come up with like profiles of how the voters would swing and all these kind of things. They sold their services to politicians a lot, and there was a big scandal where their data was leaked, and it was shown how much data they were getting from Facebook and these kind of agreements that were in place, and all sorts of terrible things. Pretty horrible. Pretty Cambridge bad. Analytica. There was no, sorry, go on.
I don't know how much time we want to dig into each of these stories, but we'll try and get to some conclusions. So I'll just kind of jump through these. But we talked not long ago about Medibank as part of the rash of Australian hacks. And is this still happening, that they're still dripping out the medical records, or did they get some resolution on that?
Nope, still coming out. Medibank, the health insurer, refused to pay the 9.7 million ransom. And so I forget the name of the ransomware gang. It's on the tip of my tongue. Anyway, it doesn't matter who's. Have started releasing very sensitive files named things like abortions.csv or psychos.csv for people with mental health issues. Pretty horrible behavior by anybody's standards.
Pretty bad. Here's a story we've talked about before. Target figured out a teen girl was pregnant, mailed a coupon home, outing her to her parents. And then this one I picked just to demonstrate that these are not new problems. This is a story about how Germany had trouble with their 83 and 87 censuses because of distrust over the census, going back to Hitler and the Nazis' use of the census to identify groups that they wanted to target. So long history of data abuses.
It's a cliche to answer any. The truism is that every argument on the internet eventually devolves into Nazis, right? And
and there we go.
I think that's where we're at with this particular one. Like, why is data surveillance bad? Why is the surveillance capitalism bad? Nazis. I think kind of covers it. You can't really get much worse than them.
Probably not even the beginning of the story, but pretty bad case. So, okay. So, pass a law that says you can't have this data retention. It's still out there. Like, what can we do to mitigate the issue at this point? Like, okay, let's even just say like, yes, laws are necessary. Strict laws are necessary. We're going to limit this stuff. Yeah. It's still out there. The technology still exists. People are still going to do it. We know that anonymizing the data doesn't solve anything.
People aren't going to use it if it doesn't make them money. The government might use it, but then they can be voted out, and they can hopefully have, the people can have some kind of effect on them. Is the theory goes like that, right? I'm sure Jon would be sneering in the corner here, but he's not here, so yeah. Make it so it's not profitable. Make the fines big enough. Make the laws strong enough, and then people will, kind of stop doing it. I hope.
And it's really, I mean, where do you even look at the chain? So you've got the social media companies and the ad companies selling online advertising. You've got the data brokers selling databases back and forth. The only use of that data is not, or the uses of that data is not limited to online advertising, though, is it? What are some of the other major use cases for that?
Well, Cambridge Analytica is a good example. Basically seeing which way the political wind is blowing. So politicians will pay a lot of money to try and figure out what to do next and how to win votes, basically. That
didn't go back to advertising, though. I thought a big part of the issue was using that information to influence behavior on Facebook.
That's true. That's true. Do you know what? It's been such a long time that I've forgotten all the details of it. But yes, that's true. But it's still that they are making money from it. They are, they shouldn't be collecting this data. Outlaw the data collection in the first place. Make it, regulated, and find people who get caught doing it.
Yeah. And then in the case of the medical records, like they have to collect that information. I guess it's a matter of just better protecting it.
Well, it's the sharing and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, in Medibank's case, they weren't sharing it, and they got hacked. So that's tough. I don't think there's a really way you can outlaw not getting hacked. They should just be. I mean, actually, I suppose you could.
We have talked about that a couple times.
If there were stronger penalties like in place for like the C-suite, if they were personally liable for hacks, then I think they might have put more effort into protecting themselves in the first place. I don't think that's going to stop it 100%, but it might have an effect. So,
yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts on this?
Only that I don't think. Oh, yeah. I'll tell you one thing. I think that this month, are we still in November? I don't know whether this is going to go out in November or December. But
so this December, should go out Tuesday, Wednesday, the 30th. Let's get this out on Thursday.
Okay. So last month, just edit that, all right? Yeah, last month, two major pieces of legislation went into force in the EU, which is the DMA and the DSA, the Direct Marketing Act and the Direct Services Act. I think that's the acronyms. And they have some hefty fines associated with transgressions. So there are things like, they cover all sorts of different things like deceptive design or dark patterns and targeted advertising and protection of data and all sorts. It's sort of like a super version of GDPR. And the fines, I looked at them, and they go up to 10% for some of the more egregious, problems, and for repeated offenses, up to 20% of global revenue. So, yeah, can you imagine 20% of Facebook's or Meta's global revenue being fined? That would actually, I'd quite like to see it. They'd have to do something really bad for them to be fined that much. So maybe I don't really want to see it, but I kind of want to see it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how enforcement plays out. It's hard to see that going very well, but I guess they've been able to do it to some extent with GDPR.
Yeah, and if you look at the scale of the fines over time with the GDPR, they're going up and up and up as they get more confident and more kind of, it's become an accepted thing. So I think it's having an effect. Give it 4 or 5 years, and I think we'll see some real changes. I mean, it's a long time to wait, but hey, it's, government regulation. Anyway.
All right, well, tomorrow we're going to talk about whether we think the world was better before or since social media.
Yeah,
that'll be fun.
The same.
All right. See you tomorrow.